In this installment, we're going to be going over the NBA bet slate for Monday, March 25th. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to bring you the winning ingredients for our NBA bet slate for March 25th. But before I deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetsJetsD. Don't forget about that TikTok at Chef_D91, and don't forget about that Patreon. Right now, we're at the home page of the YouTube channel, and we are currently at 2.65 thousand subscribers. So you guys are bringing in so much love and support right now. Let's continue to go forward with that. I appreciate you so much, and I'm going to keep bringing you this content, okay? And hey, if I don't do a video, please pay attention to the community. I will be posting if I'm not going to be doing a video that day or not, okay? So make sure you stay tuned into the page. If you're already subscribed to the channel, continue to like and comment. That helps the YouTube algorithm. That helps me reach other people. And if you're not subscribed, click that subscribe button right now. Join the community that we're building on YouTube and on Patreon. That's what you're getting when you get in Patreon. You're getting the community feel there. You're getting future bets. Obviously, in March Madness, we still have the team that we think that's going to be winning it all. That team is still alive. You can get them at a great number. Sign up to that Patreon link down below. Starting things off, we have the first game here. This is first of like 11 games. So this is a big slate for Monday, all right? Charlotte Hornets coming in at 17-53, going up against the Cleveland Cavaliers, 43-28. The Cavs are in the second game of a back-to-back. They just were blown out by the Miami Heat. So you got to watch out for those back-to-back games. I should have saw that. So in this particular odd situation here, you got the Cleveland Cavaliers who are minus 1,000 on the money line. Hornets on the get back at plus 600. The total is at a 205.5. And the total spread is at 12.5 currently. It opened up at 11.5. It has been bought up by 1 point. Obviously, people are understanding that the Hornets are really, really bad. Like, just like the Toronto Raptors. They're really, really bad. So, looking at the injury report here, Charlotte Hornets, no injuries, no current injuries. But for the Cleveland Cavaliers, Max Strus and Dean Wade are going to be game time decisions. The positive news for the Cleveland Cavaliers is that Evan Mobley came back. All right, no news on Donovan Mitchell as of yet. Tuesday is when he's supposed to be reevaluated on how soon he's going to come back. All right, these two teams, one team, they're both struggling pretty much. Hornets have lost 4 out of their last 5 games, and the Cavaliers have won 2 out of their last 5 games. So both teams are struggling coming into this game. Looking at the regular season series right now, this is their first time playing each other, and this is all the back end of the season here. They're going to be facing each other 3 times, and this is the first meeting. All right, so where can we find some value? Because we're not taking the money line at minus 1,000. What I'm going to encourage here is taking the spread. All right, if you want to be confident and cocky and take that 12.5, by all means, go ahead. I'm going to be bumping it down to 9.5 because it just happens like that. Sometimes teams win by 10 and 11 and not the 12 that you need. And actually, you need 13 technically if it's 12.5. So if they win by 12, you lose. If you win by 11, you lose. So on and so forth. So give me that 9.5. Give me some leeway here because I do think that the Cleveland Cavaliers have more talent. Obviously, you're getting Evan Mobley back. That helps. And they're going to be running out Mobley, Jared Allen, and Darius Garland. That should be more than enough to beat the lowly Charlotte Hornets. You get the Cavaliers in the second game of back-to-back. They're going to be playing more motivated. They were embarrassed in Miami, so they're going to be coming home and facing the Hornets here and destroy them, all right? Now, for the total, I think the total is just a little bit too low here. I'm going to be taking the over 205.5. I imagine this game to be around that 210 range. Hornets probably are going to be around that 95 to 100 range. And I do see the Cleveland Cavaliers putting up at least 110, all right, against this poor defense. So give me the over 205. and give me the cover of the Cleveland Cavaliers at -9.5. Next game we have up will be the Boston Celtics, who are 57-14, absolutely dominant here this year. Going up against the Atlanta Hawks, who are 31-39. A totally opposite team here, spiraling down with injuries and a lot of concerns. Looking at the current odds right here, you get Boston Celtics on the road on the money line at a -650 with the comeback of the Atlanta Hawks on the money line at a +460. For the total here, it is at 226.5 on both sides, and with the spread here, it is 11.5. It opened up at 12 and now has been bumped down to an 11.5. The total has been bumped up by 1 point. It opened up at 225. All right, looking at the current injury report as of right now, the Hawks, all these guys are out. So Onyekwo out, AJ Griffin out, Jalen Johnson out. That hurts. Obviously, we already know about Saddiq Bey out for the year. Trae Young out for the year. They're just missing a ton of bodies here. For the Celtics, we're waiting on news for Drew Holiday. I know it says out, but I checked. He's currently questionable. And then Derek White is questionable as well. All right. So these two teams are in complete opposite directions. All right. Like I said, Celtics are on a big winning streak, 9-game winning streak, and the Hawks are, on the other hand, have only won 2 out of their last 5 games. These two teams have already played in Boston. The first total was 216, and that was a 10-point win by the Celtics. The second game was in Boston again. That was an 8-point win, and that total was 242. But that was a Hawk team with Trae Young, with Saddiq Bey, with Jalen Johnson. All those guys are going to be out of this contest here. And then, as you can see, the Celtics are on a roll each and every game, almost winning by double digits, unless they're facing a really competitive team like the Bucks. The Bucks, they only won by 3 points, but Bulls, 11. Detroit, 27. Detroit again, what is that, 26? 20, whatever that number is, 25. And then against Washington, 26. So they're blowing out weaker competition here. So we're going to be taking the spread here, but I'm going to be giving you 9.5. All right. I want you to win. If they win by double digits, give me that exact number there. I don't like this 11, 12, 13, 14 crap. I don't like that. No. If it's double digits, give me the 9.5. So we're going to take the spread of Boston, 9.5. We're going to take the over 226. Because despite the fact that the Hawks are completely depleted of their main talent here, they are still putting up points. And if not, the Boston Celtics are not afraid to just run up the score and handle the scoring themselves. And they've done it just like the Denver Nuggets have done it. All right, so give me on the over 226 and give me the cover of the Boston Celtics -9.5. Next game, we have the Detroit Pistons, putrid Detroit Pistons, 12-59, going against the New York Knicks, who are 42-28. Looking at the current odds, astronomical numbers here, -2,500 on the money line for the Knicks, and for the Pistons on the comeback, +1,100. All right, for the total is currently at 206.5. And the spread is at it's at 16.5. It opened up at 17. It's been bumped down to 16.5. The spread opened up at 204 and then went up 2 points to 206. All right. For the injury report, we're waiting on news on all these guys. So the Pistons this is the second game of back-to-back. All right. If you look up here, they just lost to the Pelicans by 13 points. With all those guys out, they're still able to put up 101 points. So impressive there. So waiting on news on Jalen Duren, Cade Cunningham, Quentin Grimes, Simon Fontenecchio. All those guys we're waiting on news for, okay? For the Knicks, both of these guys are out. OG Anunoby out, Mitchell Robinson out, Julius Randle out. All right, so they've been running with the same cast and crew for the last couple weeks now for the New York Knicks. So we already know who they have, all right? And they've been hot. As you can see, Pistons on a long losing streak. It's currently a 6-game losing streak, and the Knicks have won 4 out of their last 5 games. Very impressive wins there. The only loss has been against the Denver Nuggets, all right? These two teams have already played already. This is the third and final matchup. Knicks won the first game by 6 points. That was a total of 230. And the Knicks won the second game in New York and that was a total of 224. So 3 games in a what? There was no Detroit Pistons game? They did them dirty like that? Wow. there's absolutely no Detroit game. So we're going to give you the Knicks, and you're going to have to play an MSG each game. That's kind of disrespectful. They didn't have to do the Pistons like that. But looking at this spread, I hate these numbers. 16? You know what I'm going to say? Give me the 9.5. Give me the Knicks by 9.5. Knicks they've been handling their own. They're solid at home as favorites. They're 23-15 against the spread. That's what you want to hear. And it helps that the Pistons are horrible. They are 31 or 37? Hold on, let me see that number. Detroit Pistons are as dogs. They're 31-30 as underdogs. So they're just over 500 here. But I really cannot trust this team here. I need to know who's in. If I'm going to consider that plus 16.5, if I'm even going to think about it, I need Cade Cunningham in. I need Jalen Duren in. I need both of those guys to be in for even to consider that plus 16.5. If not, then I'm all over the Knicks. But I'm giving you minus 9.5. And here, guess what? This is the better value here. Take the over 206.5. This number is too short. This number is way too short. So give me the 206.5 on the over. As I just said, the two previous games with these two teams here, with the Knicks and the Pistons, the total has been 230 and 224, and they're giving you 206. Give me the over. Next game will be with the other New York team here, the Brooklyn Nets, 26-45, traveling over to Toronto, facing the Raptors, who are 23-48. Looking at the current odds right now, you can get the Nets on the money line at a minus 210, with the comeback on the Raptors at a plus 180. The current total here is at 215.5. And the spread is at a 5.5 on both sides, all right? Looking at the current injury report here, some backup guys and one starter is going to be out for the Brooklyn Nets. No Dennis Smith Jr., no Keita Bates-Diop, he's out, and no Cam Johnson, one of their main three-point shooters, he's out as well. For the Raptors, they're going to be out with a ton of guys yet again. Obviously, no RJ Barrett. Emmanuel Quickly out, Jonte Porter out, DJ Carton out. All right, so both of these teams are hampered with some mainly backups in a starter here and there. And these two teams are struggling as of right now. The Nets are on a 6-game losing streak, and the Raptors are on a 10-game losing streak. And I think that continues here in this particular game here. For the season series as of right now, Nets won the first game. That was a total of 218. And then the second game, the Raptors won that one, and that was a total of 214. This game is going to be in Toronto, and the Toronto Raptors just have no hope. Obviously, after that horrible news of RJ Barrett's brother, he has been gone, and he's going through a lot of issues right now. And then after that, everyone's just falling off from there. And it doesn't help that Emmanuel Quickly is gone as well. So I'm going to be going with the money line of the Brooklyn Nets. And if I'm choosing the over-under here of 215.5, they put it at a very solid number, just in the middle, pretty much of both numbers here. We're going to go with the under 215.5, all right? I think these two teams struggle with the prospective offense that they're going to put on the court. Give me the under 215.5. If are they going to cover the spread? Let me see. I don't know. Last time they won. For the Brooklyn Nets, stay away from the spread. Don't do the spread. I'm not even going to do that. Take the money line of the Nets and take the under 215.5 if I had to choose. All right, let's go on to the next game. Next game up, we have the Portland Trail Blazers, who are 19-52, going against the Houston Rockets. Red hot Houston Rockets, 35-35, creeping up, trying to get in that play-in, trying to surpass the Golden State Warriors. Looking at the current odds, you can get Houston Rockets on the money line at a minus 600, with the comeback of the Trail Blazers at a plus 425. The current total is at 220.5. It opened up at 216, so it's been bought up 4 points. So a lot of action towards the over here. And the spread is at a 10.5 on both sides. That opened up at a 9.5, and that was bought up as well. All right, for the injury report for these two teams, we're waiting on news for Anthony Simons, he's currently questionable, and DeAndre Ayton, he's currently questionable. Jeremy Grant is going to be out for this game. He is doubtful right now. For the Houston Rockets, Jabari Smith, unfortunately, he threw a punch in the previous game. He is suspended in this game against the Portland Trailblazers, so they're going to be without Jabari Smith. For the Trailblazers, they are struggling right now. They are on a losing streak of 6 games, 6-game losing streak, and the Rockets are on an 8-game winning streak, playing phenomenally, and they're playing in their best position here at home. All right, so these two teams have already played twice. They have split the season series. The first game was a total of 268. That was the Trailblazers win, and the second game was a total of 230, and that was a Rockets win by 16 points. All right, so in this particular occasion here, I like the Rockets at home. This is one of the stronger teams at home, just like the Orlando Magic. The Rockets against the spread at home are 24-10, and as favorites, they're 16-8. All right, and as home favorites, when you put those two together, they are 13-5 against the spread. So absolute phenomenal numbers there. Portland, they've been struggling this whole entire year, and they're going up against the team that plays so good at home. Give me the 9.5. Give me that number where it opened at, and now where it's going to go. All right, so love the 9.5 in this game for the Houston Rockets. Also, give me the over of 220.5. We had, like I said, both games previous, 268 and 230. Both of those games were in regulation. Okay, no OT there. So that's going to be the plays for this video, all right, for this particular matchup here. -9.5 Houston and over 220.5. Next game up, we have a rematch here of a couple days ago. The Phoenix Suns, who are currently 42-29, going against the San Antonio Spurs, who are 15-56. Looking at the current odds here, Phoenix Suns on the money line is a -900. Obviously, we're going to be trying to find better value there. San Antonio Spurs on the other side at a +550. Looking at the current total, is correctly priced at 232.5. All right, on both sides, obviously for the over-under. And for the spread, it has been moved up. It opened up at 10.5. It is now 12.5. For the current spread on both sides here. Phoenix Suns, no one of importance is going to be out of this game. And for the San Antonio Spurs, we are waiting on news about Victor Wembanyama. If he is out, we're going to stay away and rock with the Suns with the spread. If he is in, then we can consider the spread, obviously. So let's look at the last 5 for both teams, all right? Suns are on fire, winning 4 out of their last 5 games and blowing out the Spurs a couple days ago, all right? For the Spurs, they're struggling, losing 4 out of their last 5, but they play better at home. So it's a little bit different here for the Spurs. If they want to keep this competitive, at least they're in a better environment, all right? So they already played each other 3 times already, and currently the Spurs are winning the season series here 2-1, all right? So looking at the odds here, obviously money line would have to be a parlay piece if you're trying to get value out of that. But we're gonna go with, if Victor Wembanyama is in, take that 12.5. I think the opposite is gonna happen in this particular game environment since they just played. So give me the 12.5 for the Spurs. And if we're choosing an over/under, so the previous games between these two teams have been 229, 253, and 237. So all game environments at a very high number. One game went below that number. I'm going to be going, if you want to buy some points and buy it down to 230, maybe to get to that 229 where it was before, then take the over. So I like the over 232.5. If you want to buy some points a little bit here, then you can, all right? So you can get a little bit of a better number here. But these two teams put up points. They are not shy of running up the score. And this is where the Spurs play better. They play better at home. They average more points at home as well. So plus 12.5 for the Spurs and the over 232. Next game up, we have the Memphis Grizzlies, who are currently 24-47, going against the Denver Nuggets, who are 50-21. Looking at the current odds right now, you get Denver Nuggets on the money line at a -1600, with the comeback on the Memphis Grizzlies at a +800. The current total right now is 214.5. and the spread is at 14.5. All right, looking at the injury report, this is where all the issues are. We have to be patient, all right? For the Grizzlies, John Gonchar is going to be doubtful. Vince Williams is going to be doubtful. We're waiting on news about Desmond Bane. He's questionable, and Lamar Stevens is questionable. All right, for the Nuggets, we can't make a decision until we get news about Jokic and Jamal Murray. They missed that last game, and they allowed the Portland Trail Blazers, as you can see, they allowed the Portland Trail Blazers to cover that large spread, and that was a score of 114 to 111. All right, so that particular game there, that's obviously the result of those two guys sitting. Obviously, they don't need Jokic and Murray to be playing right now. They might just be content with the 2 seed as we're coming close to the end of this season, and they're going to be working in more rest for their 2 stars. They want to make sure both of these guys are going to be healthy for the playoff run, all right? So these 2 teams have played already twice, both games going towards the Denver Nuggets. The first one was a total of 212, and then the second game was the total of 247, all right? So what I'm going to advise is take the Nuggets minus 9.5 if Jokic and Murray are playing. If they are not playing, give me the plus 14.5 on the Memphis Grizzlies. Give me all those points. Jaren Jackson is going to be playing in this game. If Jaren Jackson and Desmond Bane are playing in the game, I feel better about Memphis Grizzlies making this a close game, all right? So these are the rules. Jokic, Murray play, we take minus 9.5 Denver Nuggets. If Jokic and Murray don't play, then we're taking plus 14.5 with the Memphis Grizzlies. Same thing happens. If one of the 2 are playing and the other is out, we're taking the Memphis Grizzlies plus 14.5, right? I think that's too many points there, especially if they're trying to rest their stars, all right? If we're choosing an over and under, I'm going to be taking the over 214.5. It's going to be a very close and tight number. I think that they can get to 220, but I think that there's still some room there. If it goes any higher, I'm going to be leaning towards the under. If it gets to that 215, 216, 270, if it creeps up higher and higher, maybe we get news about that means Murray or Jokic is going to play, and that's why the numbers are creeping up higher. As of right now, I'll take the over as it is right now, 214.5. Next game, we have the Dallas Mavericks going up against the Utah Jazz. Mavericks are 41-29. Utah Jazz come in at a 29-42 clip. Looking at the current odds here, you can get Dallas Mavericks on the money line at minus 340 with the comeback of the Utah Jazz at a plus 270. The current total right now is 233.5, and the spread is at 7.5 on both sides. For that total, it opened up at 234. It is bought down to 233, so it has dropped 1 point, all right? For the injury report, Dallas Mavericks, Maxi Kleber is currently questionable. We have to wait on news for him for the Dallas Mavericks, one of their main 3-point shooters. For the Utah Jazz, missing 2 key guys. We need to wait on news about Jordan Clarkson and Lauri Markkanen. Both of these guys are currently questionables. We need for them to play to have confidence in any Utah Jazz play, okay? And for Chris Dunn, he was in that fight in the previous game. He is suspended for 1 game. Him and Jabari Smith will be out, all right? So, for these 2 teams, Mavericks, they're in a little bit of a hot streak, even though this team is very up and down. Currently, they're up, and they have won 4 out of their last 5 games. The Utah Jazz are currently on a 5-game losing streak. So they are, I'm not even going to say do. They are hopeful to play a little bit better, and they are finally home after a 3-game road trip here. These 2 teams have played already 3 times. The season series, Dallas has the lead 2-1, all right? The first game was a total of 244. The second game was a total of 217, and the third game was a total of 210, all right? So one of these games is not like the other. So that 244 game is an outlier to me when I'm looking at these numbers. So if I'm going with the over-under, I'm going to be leaning with the 233 under 233 with the total there under, especially if there's no Clarkson and Markkanen. That's only going to make me feel more confident in that under number there. And towards the spread, I'm going to lean towards the plus 7.5 for the Utah Spurs. As of right now, I say Utah Spurs, Utah Jazz, as of right now. So if Clarkson and Markkanen are out, then we can go towards Dallas as a cover. All right, Dallas away against the spread, they're 21-12. And as favorites, they are 26-16 against the spread. Those are very good numbers against the spread. I just need confirmation on Markkanen and Clarkson. Those are two major factors there for me to choose Dallas to cover or choose the Jazz to cover. So that's how we're going to play it in this one. If you just want to take the money line, I feel like the Dallas Mavericks will win this game. Okay, but I want better odds for you. So if Markkanen and Clarkson are in, plus 7.5 for the Jazz. If Clarkson and Markkanen are out, we're going to take whatever number it is. Give me that spread for the Dallas Mavericks. Next up, we have the Philadelphia 76ers on the road. We're currently 39-32. Coming off a big win of the Clippers there, going against the Sacramento Kings, who are 41-29, all right? Looking at the current odds here, you can get the Sacramento Kings on the money line at a minus 425. 76ers on the money line at a plus 320 on the other side, all right? For the over-under, it is currently at 218.5 with the spread at 8.5. It opened up at 11.5 and has been bumped down to 8.5. So whoever got that number earlier definitely got some good value there. And same thing with the 221. It opened up at 221 for the over. It has been bumped down 3 points to 218. Okay. Looking at the injury report here, Kyle Lowry and Nicholas Batum are going to be probable for this game against the Sacramento Kings. And for the Kings, they are going to be without Kevin Huerter still. He has a torn labrum. So he's going to be out for a while. Don't expect him back. Now, for these two particular teams, we have the 76ers winning 3 out of their last 5 because they just beat the Clippers. And for the Kings, they are same thing, winning 3 out of their last 5. So both of these teams are playing decently. Kings do play up and down, and there's not much consistency when they are home, all right? So these two teams have already played. Philly won the first game in Philadelphia, 112-93. That was a total of 205 in that game, all right? So for this one here, where can we find value? I do think the Sacramento Kings do win the game. If you want to choose someone on the money line, I would choose the Kings. For better value, give me that plus 8.5. Hopefully on other sports books, probably on FanDuel, you could get it at a 9, maybe even 9.5. Definitely search for a better number there, or bump it up to 10. I feel comfortable with the Philadelphia 76ers with a plus 10. And if we're choosing the over-under, it's currently at 218. They're going off the previous matchup, but the 76ers can put up points just like the Sacramento Kings. I like the over 218.5, all right? The reason why I am choosing the 76ers to cover this number is, like I said, against the spread numbers at home for the Kings. They're 13-20 at home. That is horrible. 7 games under 500. And as favorites, they are 20-27 as favorites against the spread. That's 7 games under 500. We have a Philadelphia 76ers team that are playing better since they're without Joel Embiid, and they got Tobias Harris back. Tyrese Maxey's playing in premier form, and they're getting ready for Joel Embiid to come back very soon. All right, so they're a little bit motivated in this scenario here. Give me the plus 8.5 for the 76ers and the over 218. Last but not least, we have the Indianapolis Pacers here, who are 40-31. This team, well, both of these teams are going to be on a second game of a back-to-back here. And the Clippers right now are 44-26. They just lost to the 76ers. Pacers right now are facing the Lakers. They're down by 11 in the third quarter, all right? For the odds as of right now, Clippers minus 250 on the money line with the comeback on the Pacers at a plus 210. The current over-under is at 233.5. For the spread as of right now, it has been moved up from 5.5 to 6.5, and that total has moved down. It opened up at 240, is now at 233.5. All right, so 7-point movement. That's a huge movement there. Injury report for both sides is irrelevant. All right, so these two teams, like I said, second game of a back-to-back here, and these two teams have already played, and that was earlier in the season. That was a Clippers win in Indiana, and that was a total of 278. So absolutely huge total there. They're looking like they're going to reach the over going up against the Lakers. That total was at 240, and they're almost at 100 points midway in the third. All right. So for this particular game, where we're going to be going with, I'm going to be taking the Clippers on the money line here at that minus 250. I like that number. I believe that the Clippers will cover this spread. If it goes back down to 5.5, fine. I like the 6.5 as well. And I'm going to be going towards the over 233.5. All right. My key factor and reason why: the Pacers are literally one of the worst. They're the worst team on no rest. They are 2-10 against the spread on no rest. If we're looking at, I'll show you the stat right now, against the spread numbers here, and we're going to go to no rest because these two teams are on the second game of a back-to-back. And the Pacers are going to be traveling to the LA Clippers here. We're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. Pacers dead last, 16.7%. All right. With teams on no rest, Indianapolis Pacers are dead last. So we're going to be going with those numbers. That is very, very intriguing there. We're going to go with Clippers complete sweep. Take the Clippers with the spread. Take the Clippers on the money line and give me the over 233.5. Thank you guys for tuning in. We are missing one game, but there is no line currently for that Washington Wizards and Chicago Bulls game. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, when that finally comes out, I will post a comment down below of my leans for that particular game when it finally does come out. Why? I will do it this time, I'm telling you. So when it comes out, I'm going to post it down below. All right. So thank you guys for tuning in. Continue to like, comment, and make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed. Guys, let me know in that comment section down below. Who are your leans? Do you have any specific plays that I didn't talk about? Bring that up down below. If you want to bring it up in the Patreon, that link is provided down below as well if you want to get connected with the community. All right. Peace out, guys.